you guys. If you can hear me, just go ahead and let me know in the chat. Welcoming those who are coming in the room: Patrick, Doug, Rudolph, Teresa, Jordan, Sarah, Robert, Pam, Daniel. Who else do we have here? Dondi, Gabby, April, Amati, Damien, yes, sir, Steve, Jeff, Mari, Shanika. Welcome, you guys. Let me just see who's popping in. Long time no see, says Doug. Hi from Houston, says Pam. Audio video looking good, says Gordon. Hello, says Jeff. Tony is thumbs up. Mari is hello. Hey, Robert. Gordon is coming in from LA. All right, me too. Audio and video all look okay and good. Awesome. Hello from San Diego. Welcome, Dondi. Good to have you here. Hey, Darren, how's it going? Hey guys, thanks for coming in. I'm really excited. I appreciate you guys coming in. Do me a favor. I want to this is kind of what I always kind of check in on. How many of you are EasyWebinar customers? And how many are not? I'd like to find that out. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know what that looks like. I'd like to know. Put a say yes or no. But yeah, or okay, cool. Long-time user. Previous customer, cool, Pam. We'll bring you back into the fray. We'll bring you back into the fun of it. Not yet, says Doug. Yes, customer, says Steve. Not yet, says Teresa. Not yet, Steve. Patrick, former customer, perhaps coming back. Okay, Robert. I was a previous customer. All right. Yeah, you guys. What's very interesting about what we've done over the last couple of years, a few years, is you were a full scope user back, going real far back. That's cool. Anyway, what we've done over the past few years is we've really gone all in on webinars, and we built this live engine that you're seeing in front of you, this live system. Right now we're casting it out to YouTube, so this is being sent to YouTube right now, and so it's pretty cool. And we've done this, and part of why you're here today is we talked about doing a little demo of some of the things we've built out recently, and some of those things are all around the power of AI, right? Obviously, with AI, things are cooking, right? So I have I was going to go into what we've recently built with AI to show you how, the problem that we typically have found is that people, the trouble is, it's not necessarily your offer or your program or anything like that maybe doesn't get results for webinars. Oftentimes it's the building of the thing. How many of you guys got sort of stuck in the building of the webinar? Like, you couldn't get the presentation up, you couldn't get the pages up, you couldn't get the email copy going, couldn't get the script for your webinar, you couldn't get any of those pieces working for you. Therefore, you never launched it, or maybe it was just too challenging. Maybe you spent hours and hours, 80, 100, 200 hours trying to get this stuff going, and it wasn't working for you. Let me know if that was you, or if you've ever experienced the challenge. Let's talk about this. Let's put it out there. The challenge of running a webinar. That's what I would say. I would say, what has been a challenge for running a webinar? Well, guys, let me know. On your side, what's been a challenge for you? Let me know. Let me know. Is it the, how many of you done a webinar is a better question. Okay, Patrick says never attempted it. Who else here? Robert says creating the content, organizing the content, etc. Yes, on Zoom. Hello, Tudorach. Welcome. Cool. Greg, also evergreen. Shanika, challenge getting it started. All things you mentioned. Haven't won one. An opportunity has come my way that will be best executed with a webinar. Great. Done them often. Getting registrants to show up is a challenge. Right. Uh, have done webinars on Zoom. Have done many. Always feel a little shaky with selling part, the sales pitch. Yeah, I mean, again, all those happen, right? Part of that is sort of pushing through and believing what you're offering and having conviction there, and fully knowing that your solution is the solution for them. That number one is the thing, right? And you know, we all have this thing where we are, you know, imposter syndrome. We feel like that. Yeah, I mean, again, sometimes when you get to the pitch, it can feel very scary. Sometimes I like to reframe it like this, though. That if you don't give them the opportunity of your solution, then they'll spin their wheels going a different direction and never get the solution, get the clarity, get the resolution, and solve the nagging problem, which will probably eventually change their life. So if you take yourself out of the equation and create more of a mission around why you're making your offer, then what happens is it's not you that's making the offer. It's not the you that has self confidence issues, or the concern issues, or the money issues, or the, hey, I need to pay for my kids college issues, or any of those things. It's more like the mission of, if they don't go through this, if they didn't have this option, what would be their alternative, and how would that and how painful would that be if they spun their wheels out, not getting anything done, right? Not getting the result, right? And that's, you know, the power of a webinar. Allows you to do many of those things, right? Awesome. I see. Have done many. Always feeling a little shit. Yeah. So Dondi, I hope that helped. Second month soon. I will do some nice things with it, from sound healing sessions to breathwork sessions. That's so awesome. We do many webinars and have several evergreens going. Conversions are okay, but could be better. Interested in the AI features. Cool. Well, I'll be showing those, by the way. We're going to go in. And again, my plan is to just share my screen. So, again, it's a live webinar. So sharing screen, you know, we'll see if there's, if anything goes on. If you have any questions, you can ask while I do it. I'm still cooking with a ski snowboarding course idea. Too many ideas. Let's do them. I love it all. I think that's so great. Okay. Um, so thank you for letting me know kind of where you guys are at with things. I am. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to do the kind of the big reveal. So yeah, and because I don't want to waste your time, I want to kind of go in and show you what you can do and why it's beneficial, right? Again, I think you guys know why webinars are important. How many of you feel like you need a webinar? You know you need it, and it's just a question of, you know, when and how to create it. Yeah? Okay. So that's what I really wanted to check. I wanted to make sure, because I there's plenty that I could teach on this topic. And of course, I also teach about the framework of leveraging webinars. I could teach that if you need it, or we could go straight into building the thing with Easy Webinar straight away, because that's the option. This could be a 2-hour long webinar or a 1-hour long webinar. What do you guys want? Do you want me to just go in and build the sucker? I see a framework, the request for a framework, the request to build, framework, build, framework, build. Oh, shoot, man. Well, then let me do the framework real quick. I'm going to do the framework real fast and then go in. And then we're going to go in. All right. All right. Now, I mean, it's you guys are hitting the middle right now. We've been running a webinar for 8 years. Have done multiple 8 figures. It's a book called Funneled Sales Team. I want a new template for selling 1K offer, no sales call. Yeah, that's easily done, Hillary. That's completely easily done. Now, the thing about it is that's the holy grail, right? Selling off of the webinar. That is the holy grail of all things, right? Book a call is easier because there's more room for error and more margin. But yes, this is the thing. There's some stuff that I'm going to share with you at the end that will get you there faster. Okay. So very first thing is I'm going to do a quick share. Okay. Um, and we're gonna go in and I'm going to talk about how to create, test, and scale $1 million webinars that land clients now and going into 2026. All right. I mean, we're in 2026. Here are just some things I want you to take notes, walk away with this. It's going to be some good stuff. Then we're going to pop into showing how you can speed up everything with AI. All right. Once we cover some of this stuff, and then there's an opportunity to work with my team to do some really cool stuff, to take the guesswork out of everything and just crush some wonderful funnels. So let's dig in. We don't have to do this. I know what you guys are doing. Obviously, I'm just gonna bypass some of this stuff. But of course, who is this webinar for? Anyone who's got a skill or knowledge. If you've been thinking of building an online course or coaching program, service, I need a better way to knock out competition, land way more clients and customers. Obviously, this is for you. If you have a solution that impacts, all of you do. I know. And my goal for you on this webinar is to show you how to leverage webinars to create predictable flow of revenue and scale, scale, scale. Okay. The proven 3-step sales method that has generated millions of dollars for our clients and how you can use it in your webinars. All right. How to position yourself as the industry expert leader, how to choose the right content for your sales webinar, and how you can use the all-in-one system that we have to generate customers, keep your customers, and do all of this at lightning speed. All right. Now, if that sounds good to you, let's dig in. I'm going to actually change my picture. I'll just go down. Actually, I'm going to turn off my camera. So now you should see this full bore, full screen, right? Is that what you guys see right now? These are, of course, features of Easy Webinar where you can change your presentation, move yourself to the left, to the right, underneath, whatever you want to do. Okay, you have all these options, and any other presenters coming in have these options too. If you don't know me, no problem, John. If you don't know me, I'm Casey. I'm the founder of Easy Webinar, but I also do coaching and mentorship all around this stuff because I have been doing it for almost 14 years. I have helped with strategies for clients where we've helped them with their funnel creation, their offers, their pitches, their messaging. But moreover, because I've run and consulted on more like 100 plus webinars, generating 8 figures and more in total, really my superpower is providing sales and scalability systems to business owners so they can work less, create more impact, and make way more money. And we use our webinar system to do that, as well as aligning messaging, mission, and offer clarity. So let's dig in. I don't need to do this offer. So here, or this slide, but here's the old method right here. This is why we see that webinars are working, even though, we're hearing every single day, hey, webinars don't work. And, that people will use that webinars don't work in their marketing. That's basically a marketing tactic intended to sound salacious. Webinars really do work, but I will say that they've changed. There are certain things you need to do now in a webinar that is much different. Like, as an example, some of the things that I'm going to share with you today, I'm going to show you how with Easy Webinar, you could be doing follow-up calls with a built-in CRM system built into Easy Webinar that will auto dial everybody who came to the workshop, attended, maybe they attended but left early. You can decide who gets follow-up calls, and it's auto dial built into the system. So what we've done with Easy Webinars, we've realized that Easy Webinar is a conversion tool, right? The webinars are the conversion tool, but you need even more to convert, right? You need a sales CRM on the back end. And if you don't have one already, we've built one into the system that will project manage. It will qualify your leads. It will organize your leads, and it will allow you to reach out to those people through auto dial and close more deals. So I'm gonna show that to you in a little bit here, okay? But before we do, the old model, is the funnel where it's awareness, interest, desire, and action, right? This is the old funnel that historically has been what people see. Here's why the old model sort of sucks. It takes months to move a prospect down from the awareness to the action stage. And you need to spend endless hours of content production to get it right. You need a funnel for each stage in the flow chart. And connecting each funnel to the next stage means it's going to become complex spaghetti funnel, and that's just way too challenging to try to lift. It's just such a heavy lift. Whereas, when you don't use this, and I'm going to show you the better way to do it, it's cleaner. This model can take more than 2 months to perfect, right? And you're tweaking, refine, but it's not just one funnel. It's all these pieces put together, and so it's overwhelming. It actually takes probably more like 6 months to a year to really get this down. So what you actually need, you don't need a complex marketing funnel. You need a faster, simpler sales process. And this is it right here, right? It's just the 4-step webinar system, really simple. Awareness from an ad or any content that you're driving traffic to, into the interest, which is the masterclass landing page, the registration page, right? Easy Webinar we have built-in registration pages. And of course, they are drag and drop. We have a really nice drag and drop editor, but beyond that, we now have AI that will build all this stuff for you, by the way. So the interest is the registration page, the desire, they watch the webinar. The action is they have a call to action of book a call or selling right off the webinar, and boom, you get sales. And this system, is a shorter period of time. It's just one thing that you have to work on perfecting, right? Just one thing. You don't have 5,000 different funnels. You have just one funnel. And it takes a prospect a particular level of desire and certainty to financially commit to something that we know, right? And the thing is, yeah, $47 or less, a lead magnet, right? $197 or less, if that's your price point, long form sales letter. But if you're selling anything over $200, you need a webinar to do it. And I don't care if you want to call that thing, a video sales letter that's 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes long. It's still a webinar. It's still a friggin' webinar. So you need to be able to sell anything over that price point, you're going to need a webinar. And if you don't know my story, I started off as a product creator a long time ago. I created a YouTube course. And before that time, I was a YouTube consultant. And before that time, I was in real estate. And when the market crashed during the recession, I went from a job where I was making, mid six figures to like 15,000. So I almost lost my house while I was going through this process of transitioning. Then I learned about YouTube. I saw the power of YouTube. I jumped in to start learning about, and then I found clients where I was doing video marketing for in YouTube. And then from there, I started building a course. And I built a YouTube course. It took me 6 months to build, which was way too long. But by the time I launched it, no one was buying it. Crickets. I tried everything. I tried social media. I tried forums. I tried everything I could. The only thing that allowed me to actually start to generate sales was a webinar. Okay, hands down, the only thing. And the reason it was effective is because I took away all the expectation from it. Many of you guys, when you talked to me just now, you said, "Oh, I'm nervous of the pitch," or "What if I don't pitch right? What if I don't have the right slides? What if I don't have this? What if I don't have that?" And I'm going to tell you right now, all that is noise. It's bullshit. You don't need any of it, to be honest with you. You could just be in front of the camera talking to your audience and sharing a result with them, and they'll come through, because you're building a human to human connection with this stuff. That's the goal, right? And when I took the pressure off of myself when I first started out, because I was terrible at presenting. I had a stutter, and I was an oversharer, and I didn't know what to price my product at. So what I started doing is live, no pitch webinars, just every single week. And here's where I see people going back to this. Okay. I want you to take note of this. All right. Please take note of this. There are people now who have gone back to this model. First, they went, the model changed. They were doing a lot of like automated webinars. Automated webinars got so popular. People were doing automated webinars, building funnels, that where the hands off, right? And that became very, very popular. And then it lost its popularity, I think. And now it's kind of on this research. But what's also on this resurgence is the idea of human connection because of this thought and possibility of being over AI'd. I mean, how many of you guys are just, excuse me, consumed with AI? AI is in your face at all times, every time, right? And people are still wanting that human to human connection. So I've seen coaches, these are coaches that are 8-figure annual coaches who've changed their business models completely around and now have gone towards more live workshops weekly. And again, if you just show up, throw yourself throw yourself on camera, right? And talk, hear the problems your people are having and give solutions. That can be better than any other marketing ploy that you may put into effect, right? So I want you to think of a webinar as fluid. There is no such thing as a perfect webinar. And I've seen a lot of people who have gone through what they thought was a perfect webinar only to fail and burn out miserably. So that's one of the reasons why I'm sharing this with you now. I'm sharing with you now this information because of the fact that if you basically need to remove the pressure, just do what you do best, which is solve problems. Okay. Solve problems. That's really all you need to do. And when I started doing that on my webinars, when I started actually posting, doing these free no pitch webinars, and just sharing value, people started asking me, where can I buy? Where can I buy? Do you have a program? Where is that? So that was valid for me to know. That validated the fact that I was creating the program in the first place. And then I started to sell. And then within my first year of running webinars on a weekly basis, I built an email list of 14,000 people and I made $245,000 selling my online course. That was my first experience with, that was in the first 12 months of using webinars. Now, why should you use webinars? I think you know why. Your ideal customer comes to you in masses. You'll start making more sales, helping more people who need your product, all while working less and spending more time on higher level actions in your business, right? You won't have to do so many sales calls, right? You will now be able to do the one-to-many way of positioning your offer, your messaging, and then have calls on the back end after they've been indoctrinated. You probably can have just one salesperson instead of six. We have a customer who that they were able to get rid of 6 sales members and just have one after they installed a webinar in the right in the front of their sales process, right? Like people will come to the webinar first and then the book a call, right? Again, a great sales webinar provides tremendous amounts of value, educates your target audience based on their desires, positions yourself as the authority, and targets those who are ready to buy right now, and converts customers en masse versus that one-on-one sticky situation, right? And basically, you're just one sale away from having it all, one sales webinar away. And some of you may be asking yourselves this: will webinars really work in my niche? And we've seen it in so many different niches, from chef baking pastries, and where they generate 49,000 in 2 months, child development program 16,000 in just one webinar, project management exam program 16,000 in just one webinar, pickleball online course, right? For and 200K in sales. We've seen it work for every niche imaginable. Okay. So let's just dig in real quick: how to write a high converting sales webinar that creates a viral checkout rush for your product or services. Take this down. This is framework number one framework. Okay. Write this down. Just take down these notes. Problem: most people don't know how to structure a webinar or any piece of content, let's be honest with you, that sells. Because here's the thing: experts love to share and teach, but teaching, and I want to be clear on this because there's a difference. Like when I was doing my live webinars and I was sharing value, I would get on and I would do no pitch webinars. I started with over teaching and over sharing. That's how I started. But when I started to hear what people needed, what changed was how I positioned my what I was saying to match their level of desire and need for a solution. They needed something more like transformation, right? The fatal mistake experts make is teaching too much will confuse your prospects. And I know this from my own experience, and a confused mind doesn't buy. That was my own experience because I went through and I was as I said, the overshare, and I did a lot. And because I, as someone who is cares about giving value, I thought that was like that was the most important thing. Keep giving content. And it is to some degree because you have to get through that in order to find the buzzwords, the things that really people need, right? Um, but when I started to look at my own way of doing webinars where I was oversharing and then knowing that I needed to get more conversions, and how do I create the transformation? This wasn't a magic close or an outrageous claim that I had to do in order to get to that point. It was this, okay? This three-part webinar sales method was the thing that I used in order to change from oversharing to transformation, okay? And again, we're going to do this very quickly. It's three parts, and then we're going to dig into the center one because this is the most important thing. So stick with me. So part one of a webinar, any webinar, right? You show up, you build an expectation of what they're going to learn, and you also build authority and you build rapport, meaning that you're connecting with them, you're checking in with them, finding out where they're at, who they are, where they're coming in from, what their pain point is, maybe drop a poll, things like that. You're checking in, and they're getting to know who you are, and you're setting the stage for what you're going to be doing on that call and how that can transform their life, right? You're here on this call. My goal for you is to have a webinar set up in under 5 minutes that will help you to get your webinar out there and then finally start selling your courses and products and services right away so that you can generate more sales, have more freedom of life. That is the mission of this webinar for you. That's my goal. I want to give you the things that are going to help you achieve freedoms and increase your revenue 3, 4, 5x. Okay, like some of our clients do when they start working with us and through Easy Webinar. Okay, so when you set that up, you're setting the stage. You're building the expectation. Okay. Number two is breaking false belief patterns with content. All right. We're talking about psychological content, which does the selling. Okay. This we're going to dig into more. Okay. We're going to dig really deep into this. And there's going to be a few parts of that. Right now, this is the main part of the content. It's about 45 minutes long. But then when you get to the end of the webinar, you're going to dive in and you're going to exchange the irresistible offer. You're going to go into the pitch. Pitch can be book a call. It can be join my, $2,000 course. And with my course, here are 5 bonuses that you need in order to have success. And for those of you who've never sold anything off of a webinar, the best thing to do is to have a bonus stack at the end. And those bonuses should fill in the blanks of what they're missing in what your offer is. So, like as an example, if I were to make an offer for Easy Webinar, some of my bonuses would be webinar training. It would be traffic training, right? It would get how to get the traffic and things like that. So it would make a kind of a well-rounded offer, right? And typically you want to make a offer that's different than what's on your sales page, a webinar only offer, maybe have a discount. You also want a fast action bonus. Do you guys know what a fast action bonus is? Say yes if you do. And if you don't, just say, what? Let me know. I see. Yes. All right. No, says Don D. Okay. Fast action bonus is something that they can only get that day off the workshop. And the intention behind a fast action bonus is that you want them to take action while in the webinar with you, right? So you give a no-brainer extra bonus, okay, for action takers who decide to buy right then and there off the webinar, okay? Like as an example, a fast action bonus could be, hey, you get 2 coaching calls with me, and I typically charge $400 an hour for a coaching and consulting, but I'm removing those, and you get 2 of them with me Okay. One at the start of your journey, one at the, in a couple weeks while you're in the process of building. And I'm rolling that in um, to this offer. So when you buy this offer, you get those two things. They're valued at like, $800, $1,000, whatever. And this is what the result can be if you take this offer with this fast action bonus. So the fast action bonus is you're incentivizing them to buy right then and there, and you're making it a no brainer add on. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, let me know. Say yes. If you're with me, say yes. Thank you guys. All right. Appreciate it. Awesome. All right. And that's what happens in part 3. Now, I do have a whole training on the 6 steps to a high converting sales webinar that talks about the 6 moments that you need in a webinar in order to sell off of a webinar. Okay. So I do have that training. If you guys are interested in that, I can also send that along. If you guys are in the WhatsApp group, what I'll do is I'll add that to the WhatsApp group so you have it, that training, so you can take a look. Okay. Hope that helps. Okay, let's dig in though, because this is very important stuff. Let's dive into the middle part, the psychological webinar content, the part 2. Okay, and how it works. Um, so um, here we go. Part 1 is introduce the framework of your main product or service. Okay. First, let me read what Doug is saying. It seems we're talking about webinars as a way to convert customers after the webinar. Our thought was the webinar is the course they are paying for. We have a service we can provide that that's attached to it, but we aren't planning on making it all about that. We were going to position it as a 5-part webinar mini course. Yeah. So Doug, that is a use case, 100%. In fact, the thing about Easy Webinar, what I'm doing right now is all this is being recorded. And because it's being recorded, all of it is now content that lives in Easy Webinar. You could, because we do paid webinars now with Easy Webinar, you could charge for each of your webinars. And yes, you can use webinars as the course. Okay. There's 2 options. You can sell off a free webinar or sell a webinar for $297 or even maybe lower, $25. And then even in there, that's where you also still make a pitch. This is how a lot of people are doing it nowadays. Russ Ruffino, he is a renowned coach. He has a $27 masterclass, right? You pay $27, you get to the masterclass. It's automated, by the way, which you could do with Easy Webinar. You have a 30, 40, 50 minute, maybe an hour long masterclass. Maybe it's longer than that because you're paying for it, right? But in that workshop, what he then does is he then sends you in to book a call. And by doing so, he's now increasing his conversions because you've been indoctrinated. You've already put your credit card down, so he knows you're better qualified than those who are just coming to a free workshop. So yes, 100%, Doug, that's a wonderful idea, is to pay for a webinar, ahead of time. Like that I think should be in a model that you're using. Okay. I think having paid courses, a paid webinar is like the same thing as having a paid live course. And the power of it is that you can run them. And then once you run it, if you want to take that session that you just ran and put it into a course platform afterwards, you totally can. But what the cool thing is now you validated your course by doing it live, right? And then getting sales. And then you can put it into a course platform. What I see people doing all the time is the reverse. I see people buying a course platform like Teachable or Thinkific or Kajabi, and then they have to fill it with content, or School. They have to then fill it with content, the content they don't have. But instead of that, flip the script. Do a webinar, a paid workshop, $27, and a 2-hour long session, okay? And then pitch them into like a higher ticket program, like your 10K offer. But then that $27 priced offer, put that in a members area, right? You could even break it up into 10 videos, because maybe 10 videos, and now run another session and do that same thing and add those in as modules into a course platform. Now, I'm going to say this right now. In the future, we are talking about even having the ability to have to do that with Easy Webinar. So we'll move some of those training modules into a hub with Easy Webinar. We don't have that right now, so you could just use a school or any other platform. But just realize, like, you could create the content, sell the content first, and then shoot, you can then automate it, right? And so instead of even putting it into a course platform, turn that live session that maybe you sold at $25, $27 into an automated one. That's the other power of this. Like, Easy Webinar does that. You can now have automated sales classes, master classes done, where you're not even in there, right? That's the power of it. You could do that. I get geeked out about this because there's a lot of cool things you could do. We do these things called simulated live events, and a simulated live event, it would be a pre-recorded video, but you can have someone manning the chat, a moderator manning the live chat. Wouldn't that be cool if so you don't have to do the presentation every single time. You just do it. You do the presentation. The presentation plays in real time with the experience of live, but then you have maybe one of your sales guys doing the moderating on the so that you're talking to everybody on a weekly basis, and you're running that once a week, and you're charging for it $25 to $27, maybe $47 for people to come into that. But it's every Wednesday, right? Let's say. So that is another way you can do this. Anyway, I will show you this stuff. Trust me, I'll go into Easy Webinar. I'll show you this stuff in a second. Let me just dig into the psychological framework here, okay? And then we'll move into that. So part one, you introduce the framework of your product. So again, to remind you where we were at, we were just talking about the first start of the webinar, you're building rapport. The second part of the webinar is basically the content. Inside the content part, is where you introduce your framework, right? You talk about how you were struggling for years trying to get this thing. Because remember, your audience is you, just like probably 3 to 5 years prior to you, right? They're you before you figured out the solution, okay? So in your framework, when you're talking about this, you're talking about your story too. A lot of people say, oh, I shouldn't talk about my story because, it's boring. No one wants to hear it. That's true. No one gives a crap about your story. They do give a crap about how it relates to them, though. So if your story is talking about how you were trying to sell your course, you couldn't sell it, you tried everything, you were having night sweats in the middle of the night. Meanwhile, you were 3 months behind on their 3 months behind on your mortgage, things like that. Like sharing those stories relate to what people are going through possibly now, right? And then by sharing those stories, you talk about how you tried everything else. You tried all these solutions, nothing would work until boom, you learned about this solution. And that solution, by the way, is your framework. Okay. So part one introduces your framework. After you talk about your story, you go into your framework and talk about, how it's a solution. Part two is answering their first biggest and logical objection to the above framework, like why they wouldn't do it. Typically, it's an internal false belief about their own inabilities to execute the framework. So just so you're clear. And then, and I'm going to show and give you an example of that. But then part three is answer their second biggest and logical objection to the above framework. And typically, it's an external false belief where they blame something else to not execute the framework, right? As to why they're not executing it, okay? An example would be, let's say, here's a framework: how to understand and mimic the basic movements of a first-year-old child, and how that is the key to improving their behavior and learning challenge, right? Let's say that's the framework. Okay. Secret number two is how to get any child to follow the brain development movements, right? Because this first false belief which is found in secret number two, is some internal thing, right? They feel like they won't be able to achieve it. So they feel like they can't get their child to follow the brain movement, right? Because maybe their child is different in their mind, right? So, and then the third part is the external false belief, right? How even the busiest of moms and dads can find the time to implement the framework, right? So if we literally flip the sales conversation basically, okay? So because this one, how even the busiest of moms and dads, that external false belief is that they're too busy to even do this program, right? To even go through it and find a solution, that the solution that they want, right? But when you understand your audience's internal disbeliefs and external disbeliefs and put that into your webinar, you literally flip the sales conversation because you put it in the middle of your workshop. By the time they get to your pitch, they're already sold. You've already done the job of selling them, right? And again, this is the difference between selling a $20 product on Udemy or whatever versus selling $1,000 through a webinar, right? Selling transformation. And a transformational product is an offer stack that comprises of both information and tools that not only execute the framework, but also helps to get them over their internal and external beliefs. All right. You're getting your customer to the shortest route to results. That's period what's happening. And again, that's there are some differences between selling a product that's mid-ticket and high ticket. If you're selling a mid-ticket offer, your offer section is designed to get your attendees to pull out their credit card and make a purchase. Whereas if you're doing a high ticket, you do a book a call, but you set the stage. So you're not saying, hire me, hire me, hire me. You're saying, apply to work with me. I only take a few clients, and you position it that way. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, secret number 2, how to test webinars and scale it using automation. So one of my friends who runs a child education organization, okay, they sell a program that gives the information, tools, and supports the parents that need to overcome their child's behavior and learning challenges, okay? He's been doing this webinar for a while, and that's how he was selling it. But despite him making profit month over month, one thing always bothered him. His conversion rates weren't happening, right? He did okay. He was making about 5,000 consistently on all his webinars, but he felt like he could do better. So he came to me asking me for advice on how I think I could help him improve his webinar conversion rate and his sales numbers. So I asked him this question: how many times did you ever export the chat from your live webinars and look for objections and concerns? And he said, you know what? I never bothered to read them. And this got me thinking, oh man, well, let's go in and do this. So we spent a few hours together downloading and reviewing questions and comments the audience left in the webinars he had done thus far. And we were able to see 6 or 7 places where we could tell people were really confused with the slide or the offer wasn't clear. Okay. So we went back to our slides, added in new things to make sure people's questions were answered before they asked them. And what happened next surprised my client even more. He had his live webinar a few days later, and after that, he doubled his conversion rates of his webinar. Okay. Now, just imagine if he'd done that 3 months before. He was kicking himself that he didn't get to do this. Because here's what most people do. They create what they think is a good presentation, record it once, and then put it in their funnel. And you can do that. But the problem is that if you haven't perfected it, you have no idea what people's real objections are. You have to run a webinar multiple times to know what the objections are that are holding people back, right? But this is a little hinge that swings a huge door. And because this is the difference between 10% conversion and 15% conversion, and which is also the difference between a 6 and 7 figure webinar. So that's why I wanted to tell you this. This is the kind of second framework here, is to test your webinar. I call it the webinar sprint method. And how this works is basically you need to do 5 live sessions or so and see how the conversion rate is. And that's the goal, right? So you're going to do this. You're going to promote maybe 3 days before your webinar, run your webinar, have 2-3 days of where the replay is available, but then the offer is going to expire too. So after the webinar, there's literally 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, offer expires, and you just repeat this over and over. I say do it 4 times, but honestly, sometimes you need to go, anywhere from 4 to 10 times running a live webinar. But once you do this, you find a webinar that works. And when you find a webinar that works, now you can take it and put it into a live environment that allows you to run your business while your ability to generate leads and sales continues without you. And that's an automated webinar. Okay. So once you get a live webinar that converts, now you're putting it into an automated webinar. How many of you guys know what an automated webinar is? Let me know. Say yes if you do, no if you don't, just so I'm clear. Yes. I think everybody knows. Okay. Awesome. Well, I won't go into detail on that, but what I want you to think about is that once you lock in a high converting live webinar, an automated webinar is the next thing. Is the next thing that you need to do. Henrik, an automated webinar basically is a pre-recorded video that's streamed in real time with the experience of live. Just imagine this as a pre-recorded session where we had chat. But I can't look in the chat and answer you, right? At this point. Now, we may have eventually, guys, we're talking about AI avatar stuff, being able to do this with AI. You know, we have an AI clone of you that's going to be running the webinars eventually, but that's or actually an AI moderator for automated webinars, but that is not now. We don't have that yet, but that is that's on the horizon. So it's basically a video that's streamed in real time with the experience of live, Henrik. Okay. And when you come late, you actually miss some of it because it's not a replay video. You don't go back to the beginning again. And the reason is that it creates urgency and value when it's something that they can't just like watch, you know, just some random video that they can fast forward or rewind, right? They have to be there, show up at the right time. And even our platform, Easy Webinar, tracks all the data of what people do when they come in the webinar, right? All like our analytics right now are tracking you guys. They're seeing how long you stay, if you leave, when you leave, what questions you ask, if you click any buy now buttons or polls or anything, right? Any offer that pops up. And also that's what our automated webinars do as well, right? So they track you and you can and that's it's just better than just a video alone, right? And Easy Webinar does both. And you can start with live webinars and then move over to automated. You can jump right into automated, whatever you want to do. But this has gotten some serious results for people. Here's Jason, who he did an automated webinar. He actually ran one at one singular time, and he did it in one time zone, like his own time zone. And basically, he had to do it that way because he had a full-time job. But off that one webinar, which was pre-recorded, he made $14,000 off that one webinar. And I know it says 13,000, but this is sorry for the typo. Diane did this where she was running automated webinars as a part of a network, and she was actually closing 4 or 5K revenue per month from clients who were doing their automated webinars on her network. Okay, Kimmer Luna, 900K in a year using this method, using Easy Webinar, using automated webinars and live webinars together. And this we've seen a lot of other people who've had success with this. We've had people that have had success in the religious niche. This is Josh, who actually got more people to his congregation on the right. On the left here, there was Terry Hunter, who was a real estate agent, and he actually created an ebook. In that ebook, in the footer and throughout the book, he had a link to his automated webinar. And when they came to the automated webinar, they registered for it. So he got the lead. It was a 15-minute workshop. He actually booked people into his calendar from there. And he said, hey, I had the thrill of a homeowner, $1 million range, read my book, went to my 15-minute easy webinar, then to the Calendly, then to a 1-hour, 9-minute call. Yay. And that would have been that's a 30K commission for him. But they also referred him to their neighbor for a sale of $1.9 million. So this stuff really works, and it can be your signature card, right? It's the thing it's your leverager. It's the only thing you really need. Once you have one built, you drive traffic to it, all the traffic. And then that traffic goes into a sale, or that traffic goes into a call, and then you get people into your program, right? Everything else on the back end becomes fulfillment. Here's Bob Proctor. He was using Easy Webinar. He did it this way, where he actually did, like we had said, he sold an Easy Webinar masterclass, okay, and for $97. And from that class, he sold his deeper coaching. You see how it says, hey, learn more, Bob Proctor coaching. He had this, it's for a 1 hour, 15-minute offer, right? So he said, hey, come into my coaching now. So he had a low ticket front end, high ticket back end. Make sense? And it was all from the webinar. Okay. And we have countless of other testimonials. Tanya, Liza, Brian, Mark, Harbert, you guys rock. You are always adding new functionality. Geez, he's really right there. Love Easy Webinar. Just ran my first automated webinar last week, made 8K, best auto platform I've ever used. And of course, we have the live as well. Okay, so now you have the webinar presentation written down. You know the framework, but the question is, how do I build a webinar system without being bogged down with the technicalities, which I hate to do? Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go in now and build the entire webinar system inside of Easy Webinar in 10 minutes now, 5 minutes, because now with Easy Webinar, we have our AI builder. So I'm gonna pivot, okay, and I'm going to show my screen, and we're gonna dig in and kind of go in to some of this. You guys ready? You want to do this? Let's do this. All right, let me stop sharing. All right, now I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna share my screen. All right. Okay. Do you guys see my screen right now? You should be able to. Yeah. Okay. So here we are inside of Easy Webinar. Now, I am actually, so this is the webinar that's live right now. This is the one we're in currently. You see that at the top. And here's what I'll do. Let me go full screen so you can see a bit better. How's that? Is that better for you? I kind of removed my the me from here. Okay, so we are in a webinar. Let me just click back over here. So this is the dashboard of Easy Webinar. And inside here, this is where all your webinars live. You have live webinars. I have simulated live webinars and evergreen webinars, right? And with Easy Webinar, we have a lot of cool things that are coming out. We have a meeting room now, so you'll be able to run all your meetings here. So it'll have a calendar session and meetings. We have our CRM system, again, which takes leads from webinars and drives them to a full-blown sales CRM system. And that is included when you pick up an annual package of Easy Webinar. You get the CRM. I mean, I can show you that in a little bit, but I'm going to show you the AI first, okay? Now, these are some AI sessions that we created. And I just want to show you that there's two buttons up here. One is create a webinar, and the other is create webinar with AI. So if you didn't want to do AI, you could just use the create a webinar, and literally, it would allow you to create, a live webinar, a simulated a webinar, or an evergreen webinar. And you'd go through the process of creating that. You make it free or paid, right? And you'd build the sucker out. And this system looks pretty dang cool. Like if I showed you what this looks like when you're building a webinar, we have these custom templates and things like that. It's really cool. But what I'm going to do, because everyone is kind of interested in the sizzle of speed. And so because of that, I'm setting a timer for 5 minutes, says Mario. Oh, crap. Okay, just give me time, okay? I'm a talker. This is my problem, okay? I know it. I have a self-exam. I've self-examined myself. I know I'm a talker. So, so you could create it here. But right here is where you can actually build out a brand new webinar with AI, okay? Now, for the sake of this video, I'm just going to jump in, okay, and show you some of what you could do. So this is where you come into the AI webinar dashboard. We have two different options for you. One is kind of the quick create, which is you get started instantly without setup. This is basically you just typing in a prompt, okay? A prompt, like My webinar is about dog walking without a leash, right? I've walked my dog without a leash for several years, and now I want you to do a presentation all around this because I'm selling this as a service. This is a new course I'm creating all about how to walk your dog without a leash in a major metropolitan city, right? Something like that. So you could easily do that. Or you could go with the Advanced Create, which basically helps you to build a webinar profile. And by building a webinar profile, we get clear on your offer, on your messaging, on who you serve. Like it really digs in a little deeper, okay? And so both options, we gave you. Which one do you want me to go into? Do you want to see the quick and dirty, or do you want to see the advanced? Because one will take longer than the other. This quick create will literally probably take 5 minutes. Quick and dirty. All right. All right. Well, let's do this thing. All right. I'm going to choose to do 14 slides. I'm going to say 60-minute webinar. And I'm going to say I have a course all about walking your dog off leash in a metropolitan area. I have walked, and this is where I just give it some info. Walked my dog without a leash for 13 years. His name is Wendell. He won't run into the street even if a ball is thrown to it, nor will he go after squirrels. My voice is his leash. I need a webinar that positions this, my course, and talks about how this method is controversial. God, I'm sorry if I'm spelling that wrong. Controversial because most people don't walk their dog effectively on a leash. They create more anxiety for the dog, and then when their dog finds themselves off a leash, they tend to run away. Okay, I know I just took 5 minutes just spelling that out, but okay. So let's generate. Yeah, so this will take a minute, okay? And while this is working, let me actually come over to here because I hear some of you guys saying, hey, I would love to know what this would look like. So share this instead. Let me go into, oops, 1 second. Share a screen. Share. Okay, so we're back in here. So let me go into here so you guys can take a look into this AI dashboard. Okay. Okay, so yes, so you could tell what the offer is, how to structure it on the last slide. Yes, like you could give it more data. Does the webinar script work in a foreign language too? What's behind it? Yes, so you could do it in a foreign language as well. It will know your foreign language. But so I want to show you this though. This is the deeper one, right? And in the deeper one, we kind of go through things like, title, the topic, the industry, right? So you can decide on what kind of industries you're choosing, the pain point, right? What's the pain point that your audience is going through, right? These are all prompt selections that we're going through with you so that you can fill in the information. The solution, this webinar demonstrates how AI powered tools can streamline and automate webinar creation from content. That's an example, right? Audience, early to mid career professionals exploring AI, automation tools, and webinar creation technologies. So this one, as I showed you, goes a little more detailed. Details, tone, professional yet approachable, innovative, forward thinking, and focused on practical demonstration and experiment. Right. So that's the first part is the profile. Then we go into the webinar content. Right. Webinar content. This will generate a script for you, and once you have a script generated, now you have that script, and you can keep on going, right? We don't have presentation builder yet. We have this coming, though. The presentation builder is coming, but it will literally generate a full script for you that you can use for your workshops. Okay, now let me share. Oops, I clicked stop share. Sorry, I keep clicking stop share here. Okay. Okay, I was going here's going back to the dog walking one, right? We're back at the dog walking. So you can see I put in the script, or I put in the information, and here's what it created. It created the script, right? Welcome, everyone. I want to start by introducing you to Wendell. For 13 years, he's walked beside me through busy metropolitan streets without a leash, right? He won't chase squirrels. He won't run in traffic, even if a ball rolls in the street. My voice is his leash. And most people tell me that this is impossible, responsible, or irresponsible or dangerous. Today, I'm going to challenge everything you've been told about leash training and show you why the conventional approach might be setting your dog up to run away. Dream versus reality, two contrasting images, peaceful. So we give you even ideas of how to create the slides. Again, this is our goal, is we're going to be building this out where it will have presentation built into it as well. But for now, it will give you the speaker script, and you'll be able to go through that, right? Let's be honest about where you're at right now. You probably dreamed of freedom and trust of off-leash walks, but your reality is pulling, lunging, anxiety, and the constant fear of what if the leash breaks. You're not alone. Most dog owners are trapped in a cycle where the leash is both a lifeline and a prison for both them and their dog. Today, we're going to break the cycle, right? So you'd probably share a story in between there. Maybe you had a dog that was like this, and they ran away, and you vowed never to have a dog run away again, and things like that, right? I need to address the elephant in the room, okay? Off-leash training in cities is controversial. Sure, people will tell you it's reckless, that it violates leash laws, that only certain breeds can handle it. I've heard it all. But here's what nobody talks about. The way people use leashes is creating anxiety, unpredictable dogs who become flight risks the moment they're free. The controversy isn't about off-leash training. It's about challenging a broken system that's failing dogs and owners alike. So you can see it's like actually pretty dang good. It's like, and this is AI. So, it's going to give you some stuff, right? I know the script is pretty good, right? Because we've trained it. We've trained it on countless hours of 7-figure webinars to be able to have a script that has these pieces in it. Okay. Does that make sense? So you can now you have the script, and basically, you download the script, and you will have to put it into a your own your own thing here, right? Like you can see, like this is what it is. But if you had nothing else but this, and you just read while you were in front of the camera, you would do well. You would do well. Okay. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I hope that kind of I showed you, like you could see like the urban challenge, why cities are actually perfect, flipping the, like why people wouldn't do it in the cities because they're scared, right? Better training, controlled chaos, faster learning. Like it really does do a lot of the controversial things that you're trying to position, right? What makes this method different? So what makes this method fundamentally different is traditional training focuses on controlling the dog's body with a leash. Voice as leash focuses Voice as leash focuses on communication and decision making. We're not forcing compliance. We're building a dog who makes good choices independently. I mean, this is true. This, by the way, I walk my dog without a leash. This is all true. And I didn't feed it all this information. It just figured it out. What do you think, you guys? What do you think, man? Is this cool? So this is built into Easy Webinar, but this is just the first part of it, building the script. Okay? When you continue, you actually can now have it do the layout. So you can actually choose manually different layouts and themes, or you can have AI design it them itself. So you just click it, and I know who was timing me. I forget the person who was timing me. She was like, "I'm going to time you," but Mari, I know I'm going overboard because I'm just sharing. I'm an overshare, man. I just can't help it. So describe your style, right? Maybe you want to have I am and if you don't want to type it, you could just say it like modern, playful, because this is for dogs, now and let AI pick your theme. And we're just going to do that. So we're going to generate the page. Okay, it's preparing the pages. It's optimizing page structure. It's applying design themes. It's gathering page information. It's going through, it's creating interactive elements, fine-tuning page details. Now, this does take a minute, okay? I'm just going to give you clarity on this right now, that this does take a second. You have to let the thing think, okay? Yep, just like any AI, it's got to go through its process, right? But boom, there you go. Now, the registration page has been built. And as you can see, it's editable, right? Now, yes, do you have to add stuff to it? Yeah, like if you haven't uploaded a speaker image, you got to do that. But voice as leash, the controversial method of to off-leash freedom in the city. Discover the proven voice command training method for transforming your voice into an invisible leash. After 13 years of real-world testing with Wendell, learn how to achieve safe off-leash walking in metropolitan areas. Now, so this created this just, and you can regenerate this. You can choose to change it around. You know what I mean? You can do quite a bit. It's now created the reg page. It's created the thank you page. Okay. Again, you can change some of this stuff out if you want. It's created the waiting room page. Okay. So it's created all the pages, and you can edit this. So as I said, you'd come into here, you'd insert media, right? So you'd grab like, an image from your desktop, or maybe if you already have one, you'd upload your first image. I may already have images. So yeah, so it will find your images that Easy Webinar has, because we have a page builder where you can create all this stuff. So yeah, naturally we also have these as well. So I'm just going to grab that. I'm just going to insert that. So you can see what you can do with it here, right? And there's just tons that you can do. You can create animations. You can edit the image. You could do quite a bit, right? I won't go into all the detail of building this thing out, but it creates basically a template that then, and then you go from there, right? Now, for the sake of this video, or sake of actually doing this, I'm going to continue to email generation. So now I'm saving the pages. Now it's preparing the emails. My friends are talking to me via group text. It's preparing the emails. We'll have it do its thing. Okay. Yeah. Now you got to give it time. It has to do like all the emails. So it's creating a welcome email. Okay. It's created a welcome email. You're registered. Thank you for registering. Your spot is confirmed, and we're excited to share this proven method with you. For 13 years, Wendell has walked off leash through the city streets without chasing squirrels or running in traffic. This webinar will show you how your voice can become your dog's leash, even in the most distracting urban environments. Now, I didn't give it any framework, right? But just imagine if I had given it my framework. And that's the thing. The other way of doing it, the long form, we ask for your framework. So you can do a quick and dirty like this, or you can do the one that takes a little more time, but you build it out effectively. You're giving your framework, you're posing what the objections are that your audience will have. It's just much more detailed, but both will have the end result of a full creation for you. Okay. One will be probably a bit more better in terms of like the webinar scripting and things like that. The pages, may talk about your framework a bit more and things like that. So just be aware that you get out what you put in, right? But again, what you get out is actually pretty damn good, and you can start with it. And that's the idea behind this, is that if you've never done it, you can get it done quick and start, and it will actually create something for you. So it's got the welcome emails. You have the 24-hour reminder. This is your 24-hour reminder that Voice as Leash, the controversial method to off-leash freedom in the city, goes live tomorrow, right? 1 hour before. As a reminder, begins in 1 hour. This is the live session. Discover the proven blah, 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 right? Join the webinar. See you in an hour. Yeah. And you can edit this. You can go in and add stuff to it, add media, change it around. Okay. It's just like we just do the work of getting some of these things done. 15-minute reminder, urgent, join now. You have that. Now, we then have also follow-up, right? So instant follow-up. Thank you. Here's the replay link, right? Over 13 years of real-world experience. We just finished the webinar. Join here, right? Watch the replay. This is already preset with replay links and everything else. So you don't have to add anything in. This link is already live. Do you see what I'm saying? So you don't have to oh, now I have to put this replay link in. It's got to be tied to the people who registered, because in our system, we do have these open replay links that could be for anyone. But when someone registers, we have a unique replay link for them. And that's what this whole flow has. It's for everybody who comes in, registers, and they go through this experience. Here's a 24-hour reminder, right? Again, the idea is quick and dirty. I can tell you right now that we have way more follow-up things that you can do. Like our existing system, and I'll show you it in a second, our existing built-in notification system has built-in segmentation, okay? That segmentation can say, send out an email if someone left after 5 minutes, send out an email if someone left before the offer, send out specific emails to those who showed up, saw the offer, but didn't click the offer. Send out an email to those who clicked the offer, but didn't buy, right? Send out an email to those who missed the offer, missed the webinar completely. So we have all of this built in, and we have all of those triggers that connect with external platforms like HubSpot or Marketo or Keep or Kit, so we integrate with those platforms and pass that data through. But again, this is to get it up fast and have something ready to go for you so that you can, we're going to save and publish and continue. This is the intention behind it. And again, this is in beta, right? But the intention behind this is that you guys are building something that, you're taking the excuse of not being able to get it going. We're removing that, right? So that now you have no excuse. It's ready. You have a webinar script. You could just literally read it. Turn off your camera and just read the thing. Have one picture of your dog on your screen and just read the script. But here's what else you could do. It will automatically help you create polls. Okay, so increase engagement. What do you want to do? What do you want to do with a poll? I want to understand my audience's pain points and challenges. That's a really big one for me. I also want to gauge interest in my offer. Let's see. And even maybe get content feedback on content delivery, right? So it will now generate polls based on those needs, okay? It's not saying, hey, do you want to create a poll around why a dog, shouldn't have this happen type of thing, right? No, it's literally knowing your goals and now creating polls around your goals, right? Whereas we typically don't even think about those. How many of you guys ever think, my goal, why am I creating a poll? You don't think about why. You just do the poll, you create it. This is actually giving you an understanding of, oh, this is why I should be doing polls. Here's an understanding of your audience's pain point. What's your biggest frustration during daily walks with your dog? Constant pulling on a leash, anxiety or stress, mine or my dog, fear of what would happen off leash. Like, look at that. It created the friggin' poll about the topic without me having to do it. Here's another one. How does your dog currently react when they accidentally get off leash? Runs away immediately, comes back after a few calls. Like, this is how you know that this person needs this offer. And it did it automatically. It created automatically. Who's here still that find this fascinating and exciting? Because I know maybe my energy is just hyped up and excited, but anyone else? Anybody? Bueller? Very cool. Very exciting. Thank you so much. Okay. On a scale from 1 to 5, how much anxiety do you feel during walks with your dog? No anxiety at all. Moderate stress, regularity, dreading every walk, slightly concerned, high anxiety for most walks. Okay. And here are 3 more, right? They did it for this one as well. Gauge interest in your offer. If you could walk your dog off leash safely in the city, how would that change your life? Like, it's doing the job that you would probably forget to do. It's positioning. This is what's called forward pacing. This is like if I were to say to you, just imagine what your life would be like after you get Easy Webinar and implement this, and how much time you've saved, how much anxiety, how much stress, how much money you've saved, because now you've been able to get something up very fast right away that is intended to get results and conversions for you. How would that change your life? What would be the value of that? If I charged $3,000 for this, would that be valuable to you? If you got this up, 2 or 3 months earlier, and you were able to start selling a $200 to $1,000 course, shoot, you could sell your $1,000 program off of what this just created, right? And in your first webinar, if you get 30 people on, you'll convert 10% of them into sales. You'll get three $1,000 people into your course just from following this method, right? So if I charge $3,000, you're making your money back within your first webinar. If you only get 30 people showing up to your webinar. Like, do you see how, like, it did this? It set the stage of future pacing for me. What would make you most likely to invest in an off-leash training program today? Seeking real proof in if it works in cities, knowing it's safe despite being controversial, support community during the process, understanding how to reduce dogs' anxiety. Like, if you put this out there, you would get feedback so you could perfect your offer, right? And if you keep asking these same questions, you can take this information and go back to this profile that you just built and say, actually, add this to the script, add that to the script, right? Or you can tell it to go look at those polls and apply what it's learning from real world analysis. Like, that's what I'm going to tell my team, is that I want our AI system to actually from here go and say, now that we've seen this result from people who've come through this funnel, let's now change the script to match the result. Okay? Just like what I showed you. See how I had to do all that stuff manually? Go through the chat. Look at what people were saying. Figure out how to add those back into my presentation. All that shit was manual. Sorry if I don't mean to swear. But now it's not manual. Like, and what we're trying to build with Easy Webinar is a way for it to learn and apply. Learn and apply. Okay? All right, cool. Okay. Now it's asking me which ones I want to use. So I'm just gonna go poll 1, pull 3. I'm going to go with pull 3. And so it gives you options, you guys, and that one. Approve 4 selected polls. It's going to go in. All right. And now it's created the whole profile here. Okay. Here's your content right here. Okay. 15 slides. Here's your script. Here's the duration. Here is your page design that is always editable. Here are your email templates that you see. Here are the polls, right? So it's created everything for you. And now I can exit this webinar, and here it is. This is it. So now we're in the actual webinar room where you can now like schedule it, right? Choose your schedule of when you want to have the webinar and things like that. Now, when you do the one that is way more detailed, which is let me see, which is the one that's way more detailed. It's this one, right? Share this tab instead. Now this one that's way more detailed, you're going through and you were building all this stuff out. You could even schedule the webinar within here. Okay. You would even schedule it within here. So now this is what is created, and if I were to check out, let's see, that's the reg page. That's not the one I just did. If we go back over here, here is that webinar right here that we created, right? Voice as leash, the controversial, blah, 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 blah. I can't even say that word. But anyway, I just showed you how it built a full and complete webinar within basically 5 minutes, right? And this is the power behind the AI itself. Okay. Now, the last thing I want to show you is I'd like to go in and show you the CRM that's included in this. Okay. Does that make sense? Can I show this to you? Yeah. So ideal number of polls, probably 3. Probably 3 polls. I never did any poll, and I apologize. I didn't send any polls out. Here's a poll. You guys can have a poll. I have them. I just didn't send any out. So can I show you the CRM system so that you kind of understand what we're kind of building here, okay? So because most of you guys, you might be saying, well, why is there a CRM system included in what you're doing with Easy Webinar? The idea behind this is that we're in 2026, we need more functionality for you to be able to close more sales and deals. And by us having a CRM that's rolled into this, that where anybody who registers, you can now call them to have them show up. Okay. Anybody who came to the webinar, all your leads that came through the webinar, you can call them to now get them into your offer, whether that's a high ticket offer. And both of these functionalities have an auto dialer built in, and team management, and auto scheduler. It has all sorts of stuff, right? Soon it's going to have email marketing campaigns and things like that in it as well that you will be able to use. But the idea is that we wanted to make sure that you're closing sales more effectively. We are a full conversion platform. That is the idea. And conversion starts in the front. So it starts with content. So a lot of you, the gentleman who was talking about, like, can I create a webinar that it becomes the course? Yes, absolutely. And you could do it free. You could make a free webinar that is content. Or you can download that video of your webinar and now splice it up and put it on social and drive everybody to the webinar from to a new webinar from the content you create with Easy Webinar. Like, this is a video, guys. I can now take this whole thing and turn it into several sessions. I'm streaming it into YouTube right now. If you go to my YouTube channel, here, let me take you to my YouTube channel, and you should, while you're there, you should subscribe, because I will be sharing more of this stuff with you. If you go to my YouTube channel, there's the link. You will see that it's streaming live, okay? And the idea behind this is that it's creating content. Like I'm literally creating content that is intended to drive people in. What I could have done, by the way, because we're streaming this into YouTube and it's called EasyCast that we're streaming. I could have said to YouTubers, hey everybody in YouTube, here's the link to join me in the live room. I'm gonna end this broadcast in YouTube because I'm only sharing the good stuff with my audience who comes in and registers. By doing that, I can actually list build with this. I can drive people into my workshop from content, and it's actually truly building your email list. Okay. So again, this is just an example, but our platform, it's a content to conversion platform. You create content that can be used to build an audience, show rapport, downloaded and distributed among social. And then you use the webinar as a selling mechanism and tool, training tool, onboarding tool, right? And the CRM system to create more engaged follow-ups and conversations to close more of those deals. So very quickly, let me just show you the CRM. Okay. And this is the CRM system. Now, you're not going to see much in here at the moment because I don't have a ton. But the way this works is that leads can be filtered from Easy Webinar straight into here, right? And you can take them through a workflow. So they would be leads, right? That would have been coming through. Okay. So you can see I have a series of leads here, right? And from those leads, I can select several of them and start auto dialing them, right? And by auto dialing them, I can say to them, hey, be sure to show up to the workshop. So now I can take.
Thank you for calling Upright College.
Okay, I'm just going to pause that. I can take notes while I call each person and say, oh, this person didn't show up. This person, I can say something like, this person says they'll show up to the workshop. This one didn't, things like that. Now, that's what you can do with this platform. This CRM system, this is one among many functions and features that you can do. We also have a lead finder tool. So if you do local marketing, how many of you guys do have like local marketing? Maybe you do. You have you're in the real estate niche and the financial niche and things like that. Like where if I were to do a search locally, we could find leads. Like as an example, let's say that you are. I'm just going to type in a keyword. Marketing agencies in marketing agencies. That's what I'm going to type. Okay. I'm going to select the country. I'm going to United States. I'm going to select California. I'm going to select Los Angeles. Okay. And excuse me, I'm not going to select my postal code. I'm just going to find the leads. Industry. So here's the way you can get around that. Just put other for industry and find leads. So this thing will now find leads. And this is what I call, I just want to be aware, give you guys something. There is a way that you can actually build these leads up and do what I call reverse traffic flow. This is reverse cold calling. Here's what you can do with this, okay? You can create a first touch point call with these people. And instead of like trying to win them right away, you can send them to a workshop. You can call them, have the auto dialer call them, invite them to a workshop, your workshop that we just built within 5 minutes. And, like who would I find? So maybe I'd find like pet store owners, that may be interested in this workshop, and I want to maybe say hey, here's how you can use this dog walking without a leash and license it and sell it at your pet store or something like that, right? Like there could be options where you do something like that. So you can call people, invite them to a workshop, because when I've done this, 90% of the people that I called gave me their email. 90% of the people I called gave me their email, which means that your problem of traffic, because you guys, who doesn't have a traffic problem? Let me know. If you don't have a traffic problem, you are amazing. But if you have a traffic problem, let me know. So if you have a traffic problem and you do local stuff, you could find all these people online. Once you get them on the phone, you tell them about what your opportunity is, or what you do, and invite them to a workshop. They will give you their email. You then send them the workshop, right? You email them the workshop. You could do it all from the CRM system. So right now there's some manual things you'd have to do there, but the cool thing about it is that it gives you the opportunity of doing not just inbound lead generation, because that's really not all that easy, Facebook ads and things like that. This is a weird, different way to get leads. And when I did this, as I said, my first day, I got 50 leads just by going through this list. I got 50 calls, or I think I made 75 calls, and I got 50 emails in my first day of doing it. And if you did that every day, or if you have a VA doing that every single day, and then sending an email from this system up here, you can send emails right from here. Like once this person becomes a lead, right? Once this person becomes a lead, I can send an email right here. Okay. And it can be from, you have the same template over and over again, and you just send them, one email that you've created as a template that has the link to the webinar, and boom, now your VA is sending, boom, sending, boom, sending, boom, sending, boom. Who you guys see this? I wanted to show this to you because so you can get tangible understanding of the thing you can do that, everybody is always selling the thing about, lead generation, Facebook ads, and things like that. And it's not easy, but if you just had time, and if you just had these assets and a platform like this where you could just literally call people or get somebody else to call to get them to show up to a webinar, this is a channel. This is a very active channel, and you could create a process. Now, I am building this process out. I'm calling this the sales experience. And I had a coaching program at one point, and I am applying some of these elements to this entire coaching program. So it's clear and tangible how you can actually get some results. Yes, do Facebook ads work? Yes, do paid ads work? Absolutely. And we run those all the time ourselves. We see the results. I just wanted to show this to you so that you had something that you can get. This comes when you pick up an annual package of Easy Webinar. I just want to let you know. AI and this are both included when you get an annual package of Easy Webinar. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to me. Okay. All right. Again, how many of you guys, is this cool? Like, what do you guys think? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear about what you think. Is this cool? Yay, nay? What are your thoughts? Do you feel like if you implemented these things, you could see some results in your own business? Let me know. I mean, my goal was to show you that it's possible. It's all possible. And here are the ways we're making it easier. Now, eventually, I even want to say this to you. Eventually, the CRM that I just showed you, that CRM will have automated AI agents doing the work. Okay. So instead of a VA making those calls, it would be an AI agent making those calls. Okay, cool. I'm already thinking of areas to apply this to my business. That's awesome, Robert. Lots of possibilities, says David. Gordon, great. Thanks, Gordon. So I wanted to take you guys in here because obviously, you know, we talked about you know, why scaling breaks, right? Scaling fails when underlying foundation cannot support increased weight, right? Businesses often stall due to operational friction, right? Disconnected tools, missed follow up, slow execution. But what we've done here is we've created one command center, right? You have live and automated webinars, engagement tracking, behavior based automation. Like, I didn't even show you some of this stuff that Easy Webinar has that has all this. I mean, it's crazy what we have inside Easy Webinar. And we have clients that are generating, you know, they generate anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 a day to $20,000 a day using these strategies. You know, the all-in-one shift is kind of changed, right? The market's evolved. So smart businesses are abandoning fragmented tools. This is why we're adding this. Like the Frankenstack was webinar tool, email platform, CRM, automation, analytics, you know, constant integration maintenance, data living in multiple places, manual export import, learning curve for every tool. What we've done is we want it all in one command center. You can literally have paid classes, you know, paid courses. You can pitch high ticket. You can now call your prospects and close deals. And all of that is under one roof, right? Built-in integration, single source of truth for all data, automated workflows across functions, and one platform to master. That's the goal, and that's where we're going, right? And I showed you the AI builder, you know, and so we're pretty pumped about that. And again, this works for a lot of people. Here's Carla Bessinger. She does 5 million in sales leveraging Easy Webinar, right? Online course creator who transformed her webinar strategy. The challenge was inconsistent attendance. Her audience was spread across multiple time zones. Low webinar turnout is what was happening with her, but despite her efforts. So what she did is and tool compatibility issues. Existing marketing tools didn't integrate smoothly with her traditional webinar platform. Well, the solution was she built an automated funnel using Easy Webinar. She made it a recurring webinar session, which with a what's called just-in-time schedule. Okay, she did automated notifications and integrated it into her marketing channel, and she was able to get the results. You know, 5,485% registration rate, 8 times offer click through, replay engagement 183%, and 5 million in sales, right? Now, I actually do have a video uh, with her on here. Do you have to get the AI credits? So there are some AI credits included, but yes, you will, and then some aren't, right? And it's on our sales page where it actually reflects that, which I'll come on to in a second. And as I said, if you come into an annual, you know, the annual package, we will have have that included. And what can you we have I have Rakesh here. Rakesh, why don't we, because I know we have two things you guys can do, right? One is, if you're not a user of Easy Webinar, you can go straight away to Easy Webinar, and if you want, Rakesh can send you a link for coming in and getting the annual package, because the annual package is going to give you what you're looking for. Okay, it's going to give you the AI builder. It's going to give you the CRM access. It's going to have credits already rolled in, right? So that is one thing. And Rakesh, you can put that link. But there's something else that I wanted to share with you guys. Okay, another opportunity beyond that also includes some of that. Okay. But before I do, I'm going to do a quick video. I'm going to share with you Carla Bessinger, what she said. And after I do, I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to share that. Okay. Let me just grab her video.
female entrepreneurs how to use Instagram to grow their audience and income. I have been using Easy Webinar since 2022. I primarily run automated webinars with it, and my one webinar funnel that's selling my Instagram Secrets to Success course has generated over $5 million since then. I absolutely love Easy Webinar. It's super easy to set up, especially now that they have the new version. Their customer support is amazing, and unlike with other webinar platforms, I've never had any major technical issues. So I highly recommend Easy Webinar if you're wanting to run live webinars, and especially if you're wanting to run automated webinars. Hi, my name is Carla Biesinger, and I teach female entrepreneurs how to...
Thank you, Carla. Now I'm actually going to share another video file with some other customers. Let's go into here. Listen, 15 months after deciding to start her business, she becomes the largest vegan bodybuilding brand online. She generates over $1 million in the first 15 months, 7,500 customers, and in this interview, she explains how she's using Easy Webinar as the backbone to sell this product over and over and over again, 24/7. She's got 4 kids. You know me and kids, me and family. And she needed a better way to sell her products so that she could spend more time with her kids, spend more time with her husband, and just be available and be the entrepreneur she wanted to be.
I decided to create my signature 12-month program, which is the only one we run through the Easy Webinar funnel at the minute. I decided to create the big signature program and to sell it using a live webinar first, and then actually I did several live webinars to record the best webinar, and then to put that into an evergreen funnel and just run Facebook ad traffic to the evergreen funnel, and just use that as a sales funnel. And like I said, that has been running now for just over a year, and it's that one funnel alone has generated, I'm not exactly sure of the numbers, but I think it's about $1.6 million in the last 12, 14, 15 months.
So there's so much that I can say when it comes to Easy Webinar, but what I really want to get across is that it has given me so much time back and made it so convenient for me to continue connecting and communicating with my audience and clients in so many different ways. It's priceless, really. You know, after being an entrepreneur for the last 14 years, I've struggled with the technology aspect, particularly because I teach creatives and multi-passionate entrepreneurs about developing their image as well as their brand. And if you don't have the proper tech that allows you to do that on a larger scale, it's almost impossible to continue marketing in a way that allows you to grow and build. And so having the software, being able to use it with ease, having the support team, which is just incredible, sit down and talk with you about what you're doing and how to improve, and to make sure that you're up and running in a day is invaluable.
With Easy Webinar, I think you understand the people that you're serving, which means that you're thinking of the things that they would need. It's not just like flashy software. It's like, what is important, what is vital for someone to grow their business? One of the reasons why we love Easy Webinar is that we can have like scheduled recordings, because there's so many people around the world in different time zones, and it's almost unfair to them when they can't show up live for a webinar and people say like, oh, there's no recordings. You know, you're sharing valuable information, and I think it's important to make it accessible to as many people as you can. When you have freedom of time, it allows you to say yes to the things that are important to you.
Woo! Listen, 15. Okay, thank you, Casey. Thanks for doing that. All right, guys. You know, I see. I want to ask. This is the time that I want to ask some questions. I want to check in with you to see what you're interested in. I see Irit, you and David. You guys are both talking with Rakesh. You know, I think Rakesh, that link. Let's just see. Make sure that's the webinar offer professional bundle. Yep, that's the one right there. So I can share what that looks like. 1 second. So here is the offer that we're making on the call. There's two, actually. One is if you're ready to jump in, you can get you can jump in at $1,188. Okay, it's a one-time payment. It's 12 months, right? It is a recurring payment. Starts over after 12 months. It's going to be $99 a month. Okay, over 12 months is the second year and third year and fourth year. This is a big discount for being here today, right? You get Easy Webinar Professional. This is 1 year. You get the CRM rolled in, okay, and then of course you also get the AI tool included, and it also comes with some fun bonuses of my Elite Webinar Mastery course. You get monthly webinar passes when we do live webinars that are trainings. You get access. You get access to my sales experience community. Okay, right now. It could come in there, it would be paid, but we're going to add you in automatically. So if you go to the sales experience on school, that's where it's located, then you would, we're going to put you just in there automatically. You also get my book, The Sales Experience. Like I have the actual book. Hold on. This is the Sales Experience book. This is 404 pages of webinar frameworks that basically this taught the AI, right? So 404 frameworks. I've had people go through this. They've said amazing things. You get the digital copy just by being in the group. It's once you're in the group, you get this access right here. And again, as I said, you also get access to the AI webinar builder as well, okay? So you basically get all that stuff, but you're also going to be getting these couple workshop only fast action bonuses. If you are migrating from a different platform, we got you covered. We're going to do that for you. We're going to do the migration for you. And what we also are going to do is we'll do an audit of your business. We'll do a quick audit of your business. Okay. This is not us doing the work. This is us just kind of examining where you're at and what you need done, where you need to go from here. Okay. But you get tremendous value because you get to understand where your gaps are, how to fill those gaps so that you can actually, achieve the goals that you're trying to achieve, which is probably scaling your program, your offer, and getting more freedom and maybe not doing all the work, right? Yourself. And so that's included, guys, when you come in. So, all of this stuff, you come in and you just get started for $1,188. It's $3,000 in fast action bonuses. Okay. And you'll be able to dive in. Now we do have a lifetime access right here. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. That is completely up to you. But basically, lifetime access allows you. It's basically what it says. So it's like it's based. Typically, what happens is a software rebuilds itself every 8 years or so. So lifetime means lifetime of this product. This product will probably be around for about 8 years till we rebuild the thing completely from the ground up. And in that time, we will have to change. But we've offered lifetime before, and those folks, they had it from 2016 till like 2022 or something like that. So 16, that's 4, 5, 6, actually maybe longer. I think they had it till like 2024. So they had it for quite a while. And that's why I think we'll put the 8-year price there. So if you want, you can get lifetime access, which is just a higher price, but you get all the things included as well. Okay. Now, so that's if you take action today and come through. This is this offer. You do one webinar, you'll make your money back, right? You'll make your money back. And so it's a pretty good offer. Whose lifetime, yours or mine? No, it would be the life of the product, not your life, Robert. Life of the product. Life of the product. Yes, I know you are. I know you're having fun. So this is what we got going on, you guys. This is what we have going on. And again, if you are, if you want to get this stuff done fast with a tool that that has a lot of the bells and whistles that you need in order to establish yourself in business, but the right ones, this is it. This is it. Okay. Now, final thing I'm going to do is I have one more thing I want to share with you. Okay. So we've also been, we know that, building out a webinar, obviously the process still takes time, right? The process still takes time. Obviously, we're reducing that time with what we're doing with the AI, right? And that's super cool, right? That's super cool. Again, you can get access now. Click, you can get the professional bundle. Now, the professional bundle, that's you still doing the work. That's still you doing some stuff. Okay. Now, what I want to share with you is this: is that we do have a team of experts who can design, build, and install a complete webinar funnel inside of Easy Webinar ready to sell in 30 days. That means that we can do a full webinar build out. We'll do all the pages. We'll do all the design. We'll build the webinar, could we use the AI as a template, a first template? Yes. But basically we would take that template, we'd talk to you about your story, we'd understand your framework more, and then we'd build the thing for you. Okay? There's only 2 times where you'll need to be there. You'll need to be there for the 2 kickoff calls that are done, and then also you have to record the webinar, but we'll do that with you. Okay. And what you get with that, let me just share some of the things. You get your ICP clarity and buyer psychology. So you'll know who your ideal customer profile is, right? If you don't already have this information, you don't already have this locked down. We'll help you with your offer positioning and pricing alignment. Okay. The AI in Easy Webinar won't necessarily say to you, hey, you should price your program at this, right? But we can do that. So we can kind of take, let's say you go through the AI builder and you create a profile. We can take that profile and hone it to lean into your exact style, your exact messaging, your offer, everything, your core mechanism, your promise, and then we also look at what your webinar conversion goals are, call-based or direct sale, if you want to sell off the workshop, right? So I know there was somebody on earlier who said that she wanted to sell off the workshop, right? And so this might be a good option for you because we do basically all the work. And what we build here is not a live webinar. I just want to be clear. We build an automated sales experience. Like that's what we're building. Okay. We're building a revenue system. And what we find that has worked over and over again is selling straight off of, being able to create automated funnels. They just tend to work. We know how to create them out of the gate for people instead of people having to go through, as I said, the webinar sprint method. We've done the webinar sprint method so many times for other clients that we've really figured out a lock-in on this so that we can build this for you straight away. Pam, so this would we could do it in shorter time. We could probably knock it out in 3 weeks. And potentially it really depends on when you record it, right? Because we're going to be waiting for you to record it. And sometimes if your timeline is different, then it's That's the only difference, right? Since it's for automated evergreen building, that would be okay. Yeah, that's what we build. And Tudor, yeah, we're talking about, is this the same? Is this the same or different than the annual offer? No, this is different. So annual offer is there, you guys. If you are someone who wants to do the work yourself, still having AI do some of the work for you, right? Then get that annual offer. I'm going to remove it right now, though. So click it now so you can be locked on the page and you can make your decision go in. Okay. This offer that I'm making right now. Okay. This offer. Okay. Which should take you to, an application, right? This offer here is for those who have businesses, who maybe have some success. Maybe you're doing a bit more in your business and you don't want to do the work. You want to basically hire a marketing team to do this. That's what this is for. This is not for everyone, okay? This is only for those who want to speed up their process, have a team that's done this, hundreds of times and have had results, and also, get to a point where you can gain revenue faster because we're doing the build out. We're getting you there. Okay. Again, this is a complete build out of this whole thing. So we go through the business foundation. We then go through the webinar presentation, which is built from scratch. You get the webinar deck, right? Structure and slides, persuasion, driven flow. You get the hook, the problem, the mechanism, the proof, the CTA. We build all that in. The pitch and the objections handled. Those are baked in. We already, as I said, we already established some of those. We think about those psychological things. We get that out of you because you've probably had clients and customers. You already have some ideas on this. We'd add it in. And we'd also then have a replay friendly structure that would create urgency and scarcity. Okay. And again, full funnel and automation is also built. You built the entire thing inside Easy Webinar, and other tools that you may have, like such as, if you are using a CRM system, maybe you're using a HubSpot or something like that, we would integrate with that. We use our CRM. We'll use our CRM if you don't have anything because it's powerful. You can use it, but we can do external things as well. Confirmation email reminders. We'll do all of those. Easy Webinar event and replay setup. So we'll do all the technical setup and everything. Follow-up email sequence, okay? The calendar and CRM handoff, if it's call-based, we'll have that as well. So it's not just the framework of the webinar, it's everything even after the webinar. The email sequences that follow the webinar, right? To be able to qualify and close. The scripts to get booked into calendar, things like that. If you're selling off the webinar, we would set up the fulfillment structure to be able to give your course, on the back end. So QA, testing and launching readiness, end-to-end testing, replay and email logic testing, tracking, validation. We say 30-day delivery time. Again, a lot of the delivery is based upon when you can record the workshop. We can have this done quick. We could probably get it done in 2 weeks if you record the workshop, but we like to give 30-day timeline because oftentimes we have to wait to see what the client can do in terms of actually showing up and doing it. We would also have a traffic helper pack where we'll do meta ads, starter assets, right? Where you get 5 to 10 static ad creatives, images and text concepts, 3 ad copy variations per creative, 3 headline variations per angle, hook-based angle maps map directly to the webinar. So we've done this before where we have, we'll build a full funnel and we'll have a ton of great creatives on the front end that drive people in. So we'll build all the creatives. We'll get all the mapping for you done. Direct outreach scripts, right? This is what I was referring to. This is high leverage. So Instagram DM scripts, conversation-based, not spammy. This is LinkedIn DM scripts as well. This helps to drive people either to the workshop or follow up after the workshop. And reach out to them, get them to book into a calendar, get them to come to the replay to watch and get the offer. Okay. So again, this is not stuff that the AI can do because it takes manual effort, right? And manual effort will still be needed in the AI world. Now, yes, I could probably teach an AI agent to do a lot of this stuff, but it's not going to be as effective, and you're still going to be spinning your wheels trying to figure out how to do it, and it's going to cost you more than if you did this. Okay. A bonus traffic assets are included. So we have the webinar promo email for your existing list. We'll build out the webinar promo emails, send it out, get people on your webinar. Social post captions to promote the webinar organically. Retargeting messages and angles. This is awareness to decision. Remember, I showed this funnel earlier. You have the awareness to decision phase that we do in targeting that drive people to the workshop. Sales enablement, if call based, right? So call frameworks aligned to webinar messaging. Okay. Qualification logic, objection handling angle, clean handoff from webinar to call. So if you're doing this, if you have a book a call funnel and you need a book a call funnel, that is what this is. Now, obviously, some of you don't need that, or that's not your goal, and that's totally fine as well. And you fill out the form if you need so filling out that form, right? Then we qualify you from that form. So you have to go through that form to get qualified. And from that form, okay, it will take you into booking a call. All right. And to be clear, I hope this makes sense. There's two different offers. One is to get Easy Webinar and do it yourself. Okay. Do it yourself. And that's for $1,166. Okay. I think you probably guys already went there, right? Let's do it yourself, but you have the AI and you get the annual, you get the AI, you get the CRM, right? But if you do this, we do the work for you. Okay. And you still get the AI, still get the CRM, you still get Easy Webinar for a year by doing this. Okay. But this is not for everybody. This is done for you work. It's not $1,000, not even $5,000. Okay. It's higher than that. But if you want us to build a complete system for you, this is the one that will get you to the result faster. That make sense? Yes. The offer link for the 188 and lifetime plan is that, exactly, that workshop offer. Thank you for posting that, Rakesh. So another bonus, 1 year free access to the full Easy Webinar suite. So all the things I mentioned, the live and automated webinars, evergreen replays, all the reminders, the AI tool, the CRM, it's all rolled in when you pick up this offer. Okay. Bonus number 2, the webinar revenue blueprint, right? Simple breakdown of how to scale from first webinar to evergreen, when to optimize, duplicate, or expand. Okay. Bonus number 3 is 90-day webinar scaling roadmap. Okay. What to focus on after a launch, when to add traffic, and when to improve conversions versus volume. So this is actually probably one of the biggest bonuses to this package that we have here. This means that we're not going to just do 30 days with you. We've got 90 days with you. 30 days is build out. And then the next 60 days is improving conversions, helping you to basically mentor you and get you to a place where you're getting more sales, right? We can talk about tweaks and refinements and things like that to improve the process. And you can do that over 3 months, basically. So this is you being coached by me, okay? Me as a mentor who can help you to align, to make sure that everything is looking good. We can look at data and say, these micro tweaks have to happen. It's either me or someone from my team, one of my experts that are on my team, okay? So again, 30 days to build, and it's 90 days total of coaching, mentorship, and training on making sure that your webinar is selling your stuff. You know, the goal is after 3 months, you have a high converting sales webinar that's selling on autopilot 24/7, that has traffic being run by ads, okay, or other means that are driving daily sales. That's our goal for you, okay? And again, you get the webinar KPI dashboard template as well. This is where, as I said, we look at the numbers. So over the next, over those 90 days, we look at the numbers. We see what's making sense. We see where we maybe need to make refinements. I'm going to tell you right now that this is the most. So if you're someone who is, more left-brained and you don't really like the numbers, this can be the most boring part of the business. But this stuff, looking at KPIs and looking at like numbers, the most boring stuff is the most lucrative stuff, because a micro tweak here and there can be the difference between, $50,000 a month to $100,000 a month, or $5,000 months compared to, $100,000 months. Like the numbers are, and looking at the data is what differentiates all this out. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Again, this offer that this right here is a different offer. Okay. There are two offers. One is to, to get Easy Webinar yourself, right? That is the non-book a call. This is book a call with our team, right? Where it takes you through an application and we are going to work with you one-on-one to build a webinar funnel for you. Okay. If you want to find out more about it, if you want to find out if you're a right fit, schedule that. For everyone else who is ready to come into Easy Webinar, you want to come in straight away to Easy Webinar, that offer. So I'm going to pull, did everybody sign up who wanted to sign up? If you want to schedule the call, get on right now and at least lock in your time to schedule a call. Okay. If you want to do that now. Okay. But what I'm going to do is now I'll go back. I can go back to the other offer, or you guys can just look to see what we have here. You see, this is the offer. I'll post it in the chat again. That is the offer to just pick up Easy Webinar with all the AI and all the amazing things, AI, the CRM system, and the bonuses for only $1,188, right? That you can get access by clicking there, right? Again, the other one is a book a call to get on with our team if you want to us do the work for you and be a part of a mentorship. Okay. There you go. So those are the two options. I think at the very least, what I want you to think about is by implementing either one of these options, you are finally getting that thing done that you wanted to get done that will be your biggest leverager for 2026. That is my vision for this, for you. If you've not been able to figure out a script for your webinar, if you've not been able to put the pages together of your webinar, if you've not been able to finally implement these things, or if you've done them in the wrong way and you want a team that knows what they're doing to do it for you, you're in the right place. If you want us to do the work, book a call, okay? Easy Webinar is included in the offer that we're making for that. You can learn more about it when you go through that application process. Again, it's not $1,000, it's not $2,000, it's not even $5,000, okay? It's higher than that, but it's 3 months of working with my team, okay? So once you come on through, you can get all the insight, all the information, and you can know if it's a good fit for you, okay? And then, for everybody else, the other link is there for you, okay? So I think that's it. I just want to thank you so much. If you did come in, go ahead and let me know. Just say thumbs up, yes, I came in, or heck yes, Casey, or I'm a customer, or just let me know if you have come in. I'd love to hear. And I hope this was a valuable session today. I hope you gained something. Let me know that as well. Gosh, geez. Booked a call. Awesome, Robert. Irit booked a call as well. Fantastic presentation. Thanks. Learned a lot. Yeah. So, sometimes I can share quite a bit, but I hope it's helpful when I do share it, Anyway, I just want to thank you guys for your time, energy today. If this was something you loved, I'm thinking about doing more live webinars. I just need to do them more consistently. So I'm probably going to start to knock out some more live webinars. It's never the wrong time to do it, man. I've done so many of them in my life. And again, there's a strategy that I think needs to happen this year with AI as like being so, sort of like separate from us. I think having a live webinar solution, like strategy, as well as an evergreen one, are two very important things. I think two very, very important things. Okay. So with that said, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. You guys rock. And I will see you on the flip side. I can't wait to see you on the inside. And we'll talk to you soon. Okay. Oh, I kept casting this into EasyCast. Okay, let me actually turn this off. See you later.